All right. I'm here. I'm doing a 5-minute countdown to make sure I get everything ready if anybody does happen to show up. All right. Let me see. Main thing I gotta do is make sure that I can access this. Countdown to make sure I get everything ready if anybody's gonna cut the volume. Now, if I remember correctly, that should be maybe around where I need this. All right. I'm going to pop a little thing into my chat just to show that, just so it'll show up. I created a little chat box. It is not the typical. I have tried to use the methods I've seen other YouTube creators use to make a chat box that will put my YouTube chats in there, and it just never works. So I am trying to just screen capture it, which means that it has to be all properly lined up, and I cannot guarantee that it will be, but I'm hoping that I have it all lined up correctly. Okay, so let's go ahead and just type a little test thing. I am here! Exclamation. Praise the gods. Well, not all caps, but at least beginning letter caps. Okay, now let me make sure this is correct before I post. I am surprised. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Post that. All right, and when I get over to my intermissions, I will see if it shows up. If not, then, yeah. It does look like I have it lined up so that it's going to kind of show the top of my chat box. And it looks like any new posts are in the very bottom, so I may have to realign that when I get to it, but no big deal. We got 2 minutes left. I think that was the main thing I was concerned about. All right. And even though I've been here on YouTube for a while, I still don't have the greatest understanding of how some of this stuff works. I have definitely learned a lot and am getting better. But there's still certain things I can't figure out. Like I said, I tried to figure out how to put the chat box in there, and it never managed to get it right. I tried to learn how to do quizzes on there and wasn't able to get any of the questions that I created to show up. So I don't know. I think I am taking a couple weeks off of my Attack on Titan videos to kind of get things back in order because I was sick for a while and I was not able to keep up with everything. But I'm going to take a couple weeks and then start airing Attack on Titan videos again, reactions. And in the meantime, I am trying to get everything else ahead a little bit so that I have extra time to do things like this. Because I would like to live stream more often. There's only so many things that I can live stream, and most of the time I just do reactions. The reactions, you can't live stream the whole thing. I have to chop it up a lot. And if I do live stream, I have to edit everything so that I don't get my stuff blocked. Let me see. Let's get back here. Ooh, we are almost there. Almost there. All right. And that's all ready to go. Woohoo. Okay. All right. Starting my live stream for KAOS, a Netflix original. I actually watched this series a while back and I recorded my reactions. I did that ahead of time because my family was like, they really wanted to watch it. And I had it on my playlist so that I could do reactions to it. So I had to like record my reactions before I watched with my family. And I don't know a lot about the Greek gods and stuff like that. I know little bits that I've picked up throughout my life. And my kids are very into gods and goddesses and stuff like that. Not so much Greek ones though, but still, there's a certain amount of digestion of that stuff that I certainly had, but not a lot of details. You know, outside of the main gods like Zeus and Hera and stuff like that, I knew very, very little. And I think when I started KAOS, I had already been watching Sandman. I actually thought about doing reactions to Sandman, but I didn't. That was another one where my family was really wanting to watch and I didn't have the time. So no reactions to Sandman, but I do love the show. And then I bought a Sandman audiobook. And I definitely picked up on a lot of the pieces of storyline in KAOS were also kind of like they were storylines in Sandman, except what's in KAOS has little twists on it. So it might be a different character. It might be done slightly different, but it's still very interesting. Where was I? So yeah. Greek gods, I don't know a lot about them. I know a little bit about them. That definitely threw me off when I started doing the reactions because I didn't understand a lot of what was going on. And I don't know if that is specifically because I am not well clued in on Greek myths or if it was because the show is intentionally trying to keep things kind of hush hush. I know that the showrunners have specifically said that they made little twists on the original myths so that, you know, you could keep it interesting and to make it a little different. Top that off, when I did look into some of the Greek myths, what I found out, like many myths, is that there are various stories, they do not always line up perfectly. So sometimes your stories in one book might be a little different in another book. And some books will have a good amount of detail on certain stories, yet have almost nothing on other stories. So that was interesting. If you join me for reactions to KAOS, it will be once every week. Usually I post them on the weekend or on Friday, which I know a lot of people consider Friday the weekend, but it's the end of my work week. So either Friday evening or sometime Saturday or Sunday, I will go ahead and post the reactions. I do one a week, just like I do with Attack on Titan. I am mostly better with my sickness, but I still have some congestion. So if you hear me like coughing or doing that, that's why there is congestion in my chest. In fact, I have to go on to an appointment. I have to go to a surgery the beginning of the month. And when I went in for my pre-op, they were like really close to being like, maybe you shouldn't go in. But I told them that all I have is the congestion. I frequently, when I get infections like this, my congestion takes months to go away. But I have no other symptoms. There's no other side effects. So she went ahead and checked my lungs, checked my breathing and everything, and said it all sounded good. So so I was able to go ahead and get them to agree to the surgery with the stipulation that if anything happens, if I'm sick when I come in, they will not allow the surgery to go through. So I know that. I think it will be fine. I think I should be able to get what I need to do done. It's a private matter, so that's as far as I'm going to say anything about it. All right, so I have a couple of trailers, 2 trailers, and I have One, I think it's like a 4 or 5 minute clip, mostly of the showrunner, I believe, that I wanted to show everybody. If I need to take a break and do an intermission, I have another short, like 3 or 4 minute video of one of the actors who knows a decent amount about Greek myths, who actually talks about the family tree as it is in the show compared to how it is in real life. So, I believe there are some spoilers, but I don't think it's really very spoilery. So if I put on the intermission and I put that on and you don't want any spoilers, then I will suggest that you walk away for a few minutes. After about 4 minutes, it will be done. And top that off, whenever I am finished, I will come back in. But I'll let it play until it's finished. I don't worry about spoilers from the trailers. These are trailers from when they first started. They're not the trailers that you sometimes get after individual episodes where they're trying to give you teasers on the next episodes. They're from the beginning of the series. The stuff that the writer talked about, I think it's more like she's speaking about what gave her the ideas on how to write the stories and how to change things up a little bit to go along with more modern times. But I don't recall her saying anything too spoilery. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the first trailer. I did set this up so I have it on different transitions and stuff like that on the RuneScape theme, which I think is a video game. I don't play it. I liked the transitions on it and I wanted to use it. I did try to edit the borders so that they are more of a brassy or dark wood color, whereas they were a kind of charcoal color almost. I don't know how to edit the transitions though, so only the stuff on the inside of each scene is edited. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start this trailer. And I have not watched the trailers, but I have watched the thing where the writer talks. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on a be right back. It should only be like a minute, if that. I just need to get my earbuds. Just stay right there if you're there. I will be right back. Be right back. All right. Oh, look, it slightly adjusted my camera. Okay, so I got these new earbuds for my birthday. I'm also getting a new phone, but it has not come in yet because it didn't come out until after my birthday. And we just ordered it. So that's going to take a little while. And I was very upset because it's the Google Pixel. And I've had the Google Pixel before. And I broke it the second day that I got it because it was so slick and slippery and glass all the way around. The front and the back was glass. So I really wanted the lesser model. It's the only one of the Pixels that is made of plastic rather than glass, at least on the back. But when they came out with the new freaking model, they did not come out with the lesser model. There is supposed to be a lesser model coming out at some point, according to most people, but there's no telling when it's going to be, and Google's website says not a goddamn thing about it. Doesn't say anything about what the specs might be, about when it's coming out, or anything. So I had to order the freaking glass model again, which really irritated the piss out of me, because that was the one thing I was like, I don't want the glass model. I want the plastic model. Couldn't get the plastic model. All right, let's get back to the show. Got a lot of stuff up on my screen, so don't mind me taking a little bit of time. Watch. There
Mortals.
we go.
I made you. And this is how you repay me. Really, we're meant to be together.
Oh, if you watch with me when I do my reactions, pay attention to
really sing.
the Riddy story.
Nice.
And Orpheus. Orpheus does a
Where you
song
belong, down in
for Riddy, and it's like it is so fitting for what's going on in the story. And I think it's really good. think a lot of people thought it was really good, but I did hear somebody
Certain
complain that
gods,
it wasn't,
great
but
honor,
mostly
right?
I saw a lot of people saying that they thought it was really good.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you shoot me?
Who are you?
Whatever told you could see your wife again?
They don't give a shit about any of us.
Tell the truth, Orpheus.
Everything they know, everything they love, lies.
I am one person. What can I do?
All the best things are human.
A line appears, the order wanes, the family falls.
This is a prophecy,
Chaos reigns.
and on this show, the prophecies are only supposed to be given to humans, and it's basically
Why would you think that that's
one
funny?
prophecy per human. Like, nobody gets an identical one. But there's a little twist on it with this. Okay, so that was the first. So let's go ahead and start the
King of the goddamn gods.
Great.
Humans.
Oh, I
I'm
hope
not
you
scared.
watch the
I'm not
reactions with
worshiping
me, though. Or at least watch the show. I thought this was
favorite
really
is
a good show.
Fire.
Kind of lighthearted, kind of
Look at what we've
serious,
done.
definitely
Hey, good.
comedy, and definitely a reimagining of the myths.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
The gods. They don't give a shit about
I
any
am
of us.
very upset that they did not,
I defy the gods.
that they canceled it after this. They
I'm gonna
could
wipe
definitely
these
do
fuckers
another season
right
or
off the
two
face of the fucking earth.
that I think would be really, really good, but they did not. They said that the show itself was expensive to make and that it didn't have enough. It didn't make enough money, basically. Which sucks, because it was really good, and it's really different than a lot of stuff that I've been seeing lately.
Suck a dick.
Hey, you did not tell your mother to suck a dick.
She's not my mother.
This is like stepmother, I think, if that's what you would call it. She is his wife, but his mother is obviously not her. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to show is this. It says, of course, there's an ad, bringing the chaos of Greek mythology to life in the modern day with KAOS. So like I said, it's the show producer, writer of the show, who's talking about like how she came up with some of her storytelling and stuff. And I thought it was pretty interesting. All right, so let's go ahead. I don't put an ad blocker on or anything. I just let them play. I don't feel like the ads are that intrusive.
Jeff had a
Oh yeah, and there's some of the
you're getting serenaded.
We
some
need
of
to
the
make destruction
cast.
really sing.
Bad. Some humans are nice.
They don't matter.
We have an amazing costume designer, Rebecca
This is
Hale,
the show writer.
and Jeff also has a personal stylist called Andrea Vitero, and those two work together brilliantly to create this fabulous Zeus. And yeah, the first shot of the back of his neck and that tracksuit is a thing, you know, a thing of dreams. My favourite thing about modernising it in general was probably how we made Earth feel, because one of my favourite films of all time is the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, and that was definitely a huge influence on me when I was thinking about this and writing this, and something I spoke to Georgine Renuaro, the director, about a lot. And I think they felt something. I remember seeing a Shakespeare play transposed to a kind of version of Miami, and the way that you went into Verona just felt so exciting, and that was definitely.
So I think that was the one with Leonardo DiCaprio
and KAOS. I was really lucky that we just had two fabulous directors, and one thing Georgie did was she had Georgie, the lead director, had a mood board which she made. I think she shared with everybody, so she would kind of upload or download her thinking visually for scenes and stuff, and then costume would feed in, makeup would feed in, production design, and so she created this kind of iterative, I guess, living document. And also what I do when I write is I often write tracks into the script so that I can, when I send it to people to read, and I send them a playlist, because I think it's an easier way to get a sense of what the show should feel like. And most of the time, we can never afford the music until now. That soundtrack is so eclectic, and yet it kind of feels like it works as a whole. And I think with this world,
I hope I don't get in trouble for the music.
How to make something feel
but I have it set
and yet
so that
specific,
if
and actually
they flag my
being
videos, I can
disparate.
go back and
for me,
edit
it
the
works
music
you're,
out.
You're doing something that feels big, and yet
that they're
and
questioning.
And our score by Isabella Summers, she's amazing. She kind of the way she composed the music, I think, kind of navigates you through the commercial tracks and the three worlds, and she's always pulling you back with this on this kind of tonal tightrope. And yeah, so I think using humour and music for me was like what kind of became the glue to make it feel coherent.
Serve the gods, great honor, right?
And it'd do you all good to remember that.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you shoot me? I sent Georgie Banks-Davis, our Block 1 director,
Look at that shirt.
2 pictures.
It's like
one of Kel.
it's like a dress shirt, but it's got crocheted pockets.
And I was like, I think that my Dionysus is a combination of these 2 characters. What do you think? And Georgie was like, yeah, great. Just like, let's put some of the emotional vulnerability in there. I was like, yeah, that too. Crash Bandicoot, because I watch a lot of animation. I like to take inspiration from animated characters and animated storytelling. I think there's something really, I don't want to say pure, but there's something different to pull from, as opposed to like real life characters, which is definitely real life people, which is definitely an inspiration. So there's that sort of side of things, and he's sort of like wild and crazy, but there's an odd innocence to Crash Bandicoot, I find. I don't know, maybe I'm projecting there, but I always found that with him. He was kind of like lost in the jungle and didn't know, but he was like just so like unaware of everything, and I feel Dionysus kind of shares some of those traits. And Kel, just because it's an iconic performance, it's an iconic portrayal of a character that like people of my generation all grew up with, and very like outward, like almost declamatory like style of acting, which you don't really see anymore. I really wanted to lean into that sort of thing and challenge myself, so that was more of kind of physical performance thing that I kept in the back of my mind with Kel. Shout out to Kel Mitchell.
A line appears, the order wanes, the family falls.
One highlight was definitely in episode 8, there's a big kind of showdown with all the gods, or most of the gods.
Oh my god, it's
and
crazy.
I wrote it as it was like, I think it was a 10-minute scene.
Not like Gen V
I
crazy,
always thought
but
I'd be asked
crazy.
to cut it, and I wasn't. And so it was kind of like watching these actors who are all just superb rehearse and do a play. It was amazing. That was really cool. I really loved all of it. I was so overexcited. I mean, I remember going for the tech recce to the Plaza de España, and they said, "Oh, this is where we're going to film. This might be where we film Minos' Palace." And I got really teary. I just couldn't believe it was. It was quite unprofessional, but I got really emotional about it. I just couldn't really believe it. And then an amazing moment was when, in episode 8, so we got Susie Izzard has as Lackey the Fate has a scene with Zeus with Jeff. And I was there chatting to them, trying to be cool. And I know Susie's stand-up basically off by heart. I know Dress to Kill. I could probably do it word for word. I won't, don't worry. But I was there with her and with Jeff, like these 2 legends. And I said, "Oh, do you think, Jeff, have you ever heard Susie do the Death Star Canteen skit?" And he said, no. And she did it live in the desert in Almeria. And then Jeff was like, "Oh, I'm gonna," and then he started doing kind of whole scenes from The Godfather 2 where he did all the parts. That was a really surreal, kind of amazing day.
Poseidon's yacht was shot on an actual yacht, so there's a fact, in Ischia, off the island off Naples. And it was just so picturesque. Really hard to shoot on a yacht, by the way. I don't know if not many people know this, but don't shoot on a yacht. But it looks incredible. It was incredible. And one night the crew let us have dinner after we wrapped. So Jeff's there, Janet's there, Cliff's there, and we're all having dinner on the yacht. Georgie's there, and it was, yeah, that was pretty incredible. And also any other time, any time that Jeff had a piano near him, you know you're getting serenaded.
They put poop all over our statue. Why would you think that that's funny?
KAOS came about because I have a lifelong obsession with Greek myths. I was quite a geeky child, and I watched the 1981 Clash of the Titans apparently on a daily basis, and I
did not.
completely obsessed. And then I
think I remember watching it one time, and I was not
Greek mythology
that
children's
interested.
book. And then as I got older, I kind of graduated to all the different kind of retellings. So I love things
I
like
don't
Percy
remember if I
Jackson,
got all
and
the way through it or
read
not.
Things like Margaret
It's
Atwood's
possible,
The Penelope
but
ad, and I just got really interested
it
in kind
definitely
of
wasn't my thing.
modern reinterpretations of the classical myths. The first play I wrote was in 2009, and it was taking this classical figure, Clytemnestra, and she was dead and she was being processed in the underworld, and the underworld was this kind of dusty old bureaucratic nightmare. And I just loved the idea of putting this figure in this setting, and then I started thinking like maybe this could be something bigger. Would it be an immersive theatre piece? Didn't get the funding, and then I had this idea of Zeus having a midlife crisis. That felt kind of funny and interesting to me, and slowly I built these ideas up. And after I did End of the World, I pitched just a bigger show about Greek mythology, and amazingly enough, I was allowed to make it. So that's kind of how we got here.
If I could play
And I
another
am
god,
very glad she made it.
Hades is
Even
one that
though
intrigues
they
me
didn't
because
renew
a god
it for
who's
another
also
season. They did make it so it
very much a
has
bureaucrat.
somewhat of a good cutoff,
wears a suit
where
and
it
tie,
stopped,
it's nice
but
instantly
they also made it
like,
so
what?
obviously
That's just so
could have had
interesting, so-
another
Yeah, I'm drawn to
season that
Hades,
would have
but
really
definitely
been
this-
nice to get, because I really would have liked to see the story extended to where they were going with it. Let's go ahead and change this back to the discussion mode. All right. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put this on intermission. I'm going to go and fill up my water bottle. I will come right back. So like I said, when the intermission plays... Okay, let's just put this on. Let me see if I can't line up my chat a little bit better so that you can actually see. All right, so you can see my one little teeny chat thing there. All right, and this I don't think would have anything until after. I need to find that thing I was going to play for the intermission. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle. I will be right back, and then we can discuss things a little more. I will also talk about what's coming up with my channel, not just for KAOS, because I am doing some live streams of something later, so we'll talk about that. Here we go. All right.
Everyone has their place.
Suck a
Hey, you do not tell your mother to suck.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Misia Butler, and I play
And I
Kanaeus
liked
in the
him.
Netflix
I liked
series
his
KAOS.
character.
Today, we're going to
Like him
explore
as an
the
actor.
tangled family tree of the show
That's good.
and discover how it relates
All right,
to the
I'll be right
labyrinthine,
back.
often shocking Greek mythology it's inspired by. It begins, of course, with Zeus, overthrower of Titans, serial adulterer, and, in KAOS at least, owner of some pretty dazzling tracksuits.
Blessed Olympia.
The king of the gods wrestled control of the universe from the Titans, the pantheon of primordial, pre-Olympian gods that includes Zeus's own father, Kronos. And there is no Zeus without Hera.
Togo! Don't do that.
What are you doing?
Not only are they husband and wife, they're also brother and sister. In mythology, Hera is the goddess of marriage, women, and family. Together, they produce the gods Ares and Hephaestus. But Zeus famously had lots of other children, much to Hera's annoyance.
Hey, where's our son, by the way?
Your son? No idea.
We'll come back to that. Sticking with siblings, we have Zeus's brothers. First up, Poseidon. In Greek mythology, he is the god of the sea, storms, earthquakes, and more unexpectedly, horses.
You look terrible.
His children include the Cyclops Polyphemus and Theseus. In the show, Theseus works as security for President Minos and his daughter Ariadne.
I have 2 tickets to the Munis. You want to come?
In mythology, he is the hero who braves the labyrinth of Crete and kills the dreaded Minotaur. Next up, Hades, god of the underworld.
The whole place could break, not just down here, Olympus, Earth, everything could just fall apart.
And husband of Persephone. And in some mythology, though thankfully not in our show, uncle of Persephone. So Zeus famously fathered a lot of children. These include Athena, Apollo, Aphrodite, Artemis, and Hermes.
Hello. Ares. Hi, Athena.
Apollo, it's Dad. Hello, Aphrodite. It's Daddy.
Artemis. This is Papuza.
Another character worth mentioning
And I'll just let this play out till the end.
the father of Ariadne and Glaucus. In mythology, he is Zeus's son, but Zeus put it about so much we slightly lost that detail in KAOS. The art of simplicity. Minos is inspired by the Cretan king who commissioned the labyrinth, and the Minotaur in the labyrinth, that's also the product of a vengeful god. Minos was supposed to sacrifice this glorious white bull to the god Poseidon, but when he decided to keep it instead...
My decision? No, it wasn't what we discussed.
Poseidon punished Minos by making his wife, Pasiphae, fall in love with the bull. Their union produced the flesh-eating, half-man, half-bull Minotaur of legend. And then there is Dionysus, of course, the god of wine, frivolity, and ecstasy. And if the show is go like petty theft, harebrained schemes, and disappointing his dad.
Dad, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, tell me.
I'm bored.
Like many of Zeus's children, Dionysus's mother is, shall we say, absent. Hera is famous for her acts of vengeance against Zeus's earthly consorts, and in the show, she turns Dionysus's mother into a bee. According to legend, Hera also sent snakes
You're not like an absentee parent, but
Zeus's illegitimate children, and turned one of his paramours, Io, into a cow. Zeus, meanwhile, apparently always escapes unscathed. And last but not least, Prometheus. In mythology, he's often known as Zeus's beloved cousin, and while in KAOS the origins of their bond is left unsaid, they're certainly close. And, well, what do we do with our closest companions? We obviously chain them to a rock for all eternity, while an eagle repeatedly eats their liver. In mythology, the Titan Prometheus was punished for stealing fire from Mount Olympus and giving it to humankind. He represents the quest for scientific knowledge and the dangers of overreaching.
I'm a hero, but you're thinking I'm just some prick who murdered his boyfriend, right?
Think of Prometheus's torment the next time you light the barbecue. There you go. If you thought your family was complicated, you can at least console yourself that they're not vengeful Olympians. If you want to see all of this in action, make sure to check out KAOS, now streaming on Netflix.
All right, so let's go ahead. Okay, we're going to go back to the discussion page. All right, so my plans, like I said before, next week, probably Friday or Saturday, I will go ahead and air the first episode reaction to KAOS, episode 1. In September, GenV Season 2 comes out. I do not plan on doing reactions to it, at least not right now. I may record them like I did with this and then put reactions up later on at some point when I have time. But right now, what I plan on doing is pre-watches on live stream. So that way I don't run a risk of getting in trouble for showing too much footage from the show or anything like that. And I don't have to take the time to edit and cut up the show and stuff like that to make it palatable and make it accessible on YouTube. So, and I have been seeing some of the YouTube subscriptions that I follow have been trying to come up with more creative ways to show full reactions without making it on Patreon, like Discord. But I haven't figured that out yet. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I need more time to figure out how it works. To look up YouTube videos or instruction sites, stuff like that, and actually play with the stuff and get it to work right. And that takes time. That takes time that I don't always have. My kids in college, I take them to college classes. I have other stuff that I have to take care of, and I'm the one that usually takes care of all the meals around here. We take turns taking care of stuff around the kitchen and other household stuff. But there's a lot that needs to be done, and I spend a pretty hefty amount of time on editing videos and stuff like that and getting them out also, but I don't have time to do everything that I want to do. Anyway, in September, GenV Season 2 comes out. I want to do live stream pre-watches. And I said I used RuneScape theme for doing the transitions on this. I think the theme that I'm using for GenV pre-watch is going to be, it's something called the scythe. I don't know if you pronounce it scythe or sigh. I think either way is acceptable in common society. Yeah, it's that. And I felt like the transitions in it would look appropriate for GenV, and I looked through all my themes that I had, and that was the only one that I thought looked even close to right for that show. Initially, they're going to drop 3 episodes. It's supposed to be on September 17th. For here, Eastern time zone, it's going to be the 16th at 8 p.m. Okay, so I am going to do a pre-watch 1 hour before that. So September 16th, 7 p.m., we'll do a live stream pre-watch for GenV Season 2. They'll drop 3 episodes, and then after that, they'll drop 1 episode a week. Each week, for me, it'll be Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., I will do a pre-watch of the show that they are getting ready to air. The first pre-watch, we'll talk a little bit about the fucked up shit that's already happened in the previous season, because it's been a while, and I'm sure people need a refresher. And even though I just finished editing all mine and airing all mine, I could still use a refresher too. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about what I think might happen in the coming season. What I've seen on the advertisements, I think I've seen 1 trailer. Whatever I did the live stream on, that's what I watched. I have been trying to pay more attention to headlines so I can get a little bit more information without spoiling things. If I can find an interview or something, or behind the scenes or something like that, I like to do that. So I'll put that on the pre-watch if I find one, and we'll just make some guesstimates about what might happen in the coming season without getting too spoilery. Talk about the actor that had died in a motorcycle accident. He obviously won't be able to be on the season 2, so the trailer did do a decent job at explaining how they were going to approach that. So that's something else we can talk about. And after that first 3 episodes drops, the week after that, we'll talk about those 3 episodes. What happened in those 3 episodes? If they do a teaser trailer for the next week, I'll probably show that teaser trailer and we can talk about that, and we can talk about what might be coming up in the next episode. And that's kind of how I'll approach it, is we talk a little bit about what already happened in the previous episode or episodes, and then we talk about what I expect to happen after that, and maybe make some little guesses about what might happen after that. Maybe I'll do some kind of judging. I did that with House of the Dragon, I think, and Last of Us. So maybe I'll do that. I think that's the kind of direction I was trying to get to with these live streams, is make sure that I actually do some regular judgments of the episode and characters in the episode and favorite scenes and stuff like that. Try to segment sections off so that it's not just one long diatribe. And then probably after the last episode, I could probably do one after watch live stream where we talk about the whole freaking season and how good or bad it was and whatever else that we want to talk about. Maybe judge which episodes that I liked best and worst, what I could have really done without and would prefer not to see again, and what I really enjoyed. And I will most likely, any of this stuff, I go to other reaction videos, I look at the comment sections, I see what people are commenting about it, and most of the time I will bring up some of the things that I noticed in the discussions. People talking about, people complaining about, people praising, stuff like that. And yes, I have seen a shitload of hatred and constant complaints about anything and everything lately, especially in the entertainment venue. But I was thinking about that because I have been uber frustrated lately. Just with everything going on in our country, in our world, things feel like we're stepping backwards, decades, even a century in some cases. But it feels like we're really stepping backwards in our progress as human beings. It's frustrating. And the pace at which fucked up shit is happening in our country is really, really aggravating. And I wonder if some of the irritation and frustration and anger and confusion and chaos caused by some of that is actually contributing to some of the hateful behavior that I'm seeing in comment sections about certain TV shows and music and movies and stuff like that. I wonder. Yeah. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. And I always talk about how like everybody's complaining, but at the same time I'm complaining. I have a tendency of complaining. I like debate. I like to complain about things, but I like to complain about things that I feel like I have a reason to complain. It's constructive criticism. Not complaining about it leaves things unaired that should be aired. But with some of this stuff, I feel like it is complaining just to complain, that it's not necessarily constructive criticism. There is a difference between constructive criticism and just dogpiling on a show or on an actor or on a singer over and over and over again for every little fucking thing that you think wasn't up to par for you, or every little scene that you wanted to go a certain way but didn't go exactly how you wanted it to go. There's just been a lot of that, and that bothers me. But I do like debate. I do like arguing, but I like to argue with somewhat of an open mind. Yes, I am very passionate, and yes, I am very stubborn, but I do sometimes listen to what people have to say and change my mind. It has happened numerous times about numerous things, and sometimes big things, but I don't like the shitty discussions that are just made to attack people, just to be ignorant and mean and rude and disgusting. Like, I don't like that. I think it is unproductive. It is not helpful. If you have a problem with something, that is not a way to get that problem aired out. Anyway, let me see. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, after this first season of KAOS is done, I am going to do the first season of Deadlock. Deadlock is a murder mystery that takes place in Australia. I have watched the first episode. If you want to see that, you can go to my playlists, maybe. If I have not made a Deadlock playlist, I will go ahead and make a Deadlock playlist, and there will be that one episode in it. Okay, I did it in my living room. I don't like doing reactions in my living room because it is bright blue. It messes up my sound. Like, there's all kinds of problems with doing it in the living room. So for the most part, I try to do it in here in my bedroom. And eventually we're going to move, and I hopefully will have my own office when we move. So I won't have to do this in my bedroom anymore. Yeah, after that, I will probably re-air the first episode. After that, I will do all the rest of the episodes in here in my room. So that will be after KAOS is done. We'll go to Deadlock. And then hopefully soon after I'm done with Deadlock, they will come out with Night of the Seven Kingdoms or something like that. And Bridgerton. So there's Bridgerton season 4 in early 2026. There is Night of the Seven Kingdoms, early 2026. Okay, other things that'll come later, Testaments, which is the spin-off of Handmaid's Tale. So Handmaid's Tale was the adults that were stuck in this really fucked up dystopian nightmare. Basically, America gets taken over by religious zealots, and the whole country becomes this religious zealot fucking country. It's horrible. That one is the adults. That one is a specific handmaid named June and her story, her perspective on how things went in her life while she was in this regime, and after she got out of the regime and got to safety for a little while, and then ended up back in the middle of fucked up shit because the shit was still going, had to eventually go into hiding, which that's not all in the show. Some of that is in the books. But anyway, Testaments, though, is on her children and other people's children who were raised up in this environment. They were stolen from their families. They were put into other families and raised up in these families. And it is kind of following a bunch of the children in their teen years and their young adult years. By the time we get to Testaments, June's child that was like in preschool or kindergarten when she was kidnapped is now a young adult. She is at or very close to marriage age. Now, in the show, they made it like she was getting close to marriage age already, but there is a little bit of a discrepancy between the timeline on the show and the timeline in the books. They've already kind of addressed that. The showrunners have. So there will be a little bit of a problem with the timeline, but I have faith that they'll do a decent job at dealing with this. From what I can tell, though, for the information for the show, she will be a young adult at that age where it's getting close to her being forced to be married. And they're all forced into marriage. And her classmates being forced into marriage and how that's going. And some of her classmates getting married and how those marriages go and how they go very badly awry. So I recommend it. I will definitely be watching it. I will definitely be doing reactions to it. I will definitely be doing discussions of it because I love the whole Handmaid's Tale universe, the whole thing. Yes, dystopian shit is really shitty, but I still like watching and reading about dystopian shit. So whatever. House of the Dragon season 3 is supposed to come out in the summer of 2026, the last I heard. They reserve their right to fucking postpone this shit. They've done it plenty of times. That's what they did with Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Night of the Seven Kingdoms was supposed to already be out, but they pulled it back till 2026. So there is supposed to be a second season of Three Body Problem. That is a sci-fi show. I think it's very good. If you are not very scientifically smart, it may be a little hard to keep up with, but even I thought that I was able to keep up with it fairly decently. I think they made it so that the TV show would be more understandable by the masses and more interesting. Although I've listened to the audiobook and I thought the audiobook was very interesting and I was able to understand it mostly. There's definitely stuff that goes over my head, but I would expect that with any sci-fi movie. So anyway, that's supposed to air in late 2026. The Last of Us season 3 is supposed to air in 2027, which is a long time. And I wish they wouldn't do this so much with so many of the shows that I like, but they do. I don't know if they're ever gonna fucking try to get back on track to where they're showing multiple seasons in a year or at least one season a year. Like, that would be nice, but right now it's like 2 or 3 years between seasons of a lot of the shows that I watch. So that sucks. I hate it. I wish they wouldn't do that. A lot of people say, oh, you'll lose interest and then you lose all kinds of viewers, which may very well happen. But I think that happens regardless, whether you have a long break or not. I think as the seasons go on, viewership drops off a lot of times. My biggest problem is that I don't like fucking waiting that long. To me, it is ridiculous to have to wait that fucking long for another season. And then by the time that a new season comes out, I barely remember anything from the previous season. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, those are the main shows that I am looking out for. When none of those shows are playing and I am not doing reactions on them, I do have a handful of shows that I have been looking at to do reactions to when those are not on and when I am done with KAOS and Deadlock. But we'll talk about that some other time. If you want to join me on live stream for my pre-watches of GenV Season 2, that will be on September 16th, 7 p.m. to discuss the upcoming first 3 episodes that will drop. I use mostly Prime and Netflix because it's easy for me to access those things because I have them. But every once in a while I have to go to my brother-in-law to access things that are on other platforms or other channels that I don't have access to. I don't know why I'm still in this. It looks like I was trying to find news channels I wanted to watch, or because they have a live news section on Prime. And because we don't have regular cable TV or dish or anything like that anymore, I'm kind of dependent on that stuff in order to watch. There are a handful of news channels on my smart TV, but they're like short. You know how international news, they will show like the same fucking half hour of news over and over again throughout the day, and then they'll occasionally adjust something here and there. So it's like that, but it seems like it's shorter. It seems like it's crappier. So I'm not very happy with what I see on there, but I don't have much alternative. I did tell my husband that when we move, I want to go back to Dish Network. I want to go back to that and get my freaking regular news stations. I want the channel that does Congress and the Senate and all of that stuff back, because I enjoyed watching that stuff. Not everybody does, but I enjoyed watching it. Not all the time. I'm not one of those people that leave the news playing all day throughout the day while not even being in the room, but I do like to kind of flip through the national network stations, and I like to watch C-SPAN. C-SPAN, that's what it is. I'm just going on and on and on because what else am I going to do? It's a Saturday. What I did this morning before my live stream is since we are trying to get things ready to have the house painted and to have the floor redone so that I can list the house for sale, is I went and packed up a bunch of stuff that I knew that we were not going to need access to for a long time, that we barely ever use at all. Pack that stuff up. I went through a whole bunch of stuff my kids used while they were in school, when they were in high school. Got rid of a bunch of stuff, made a pile of stuff for some of my friends to see if they want any of it for kids that they know. And then I took a bunch of it and threw it out in the recycle bin. But that's what I've been doing this morning, is just going through all our stuff and trying to get rid of stuff, trying to pack stuff up. Contacting my oldest kid who doesn't live with us anymore and asking, is there anything that I should be saving? Yeah, he said he wants his guitar and his amp. And other than that, he's not really too concerned about it. So that's good. That's stuff that I can pawn off to somebody else who wants it. I don't sell the stuff. I just give it to whoever wants the stuff. So anyway, that's all I got for you right now. I will see you when I see you. Bye.